Hello students, welcome back to geography class. Today we will continue with the chapter climate. Last what we had learned about climate and how climatic conditions are different in different areas. Then we did a small activity where we compared the weather conditions in different parts of India. At the same time, we did 2 months, May and November, and you all have drawn a bar graph for it, and you all have written down your observation from both the charts that you all have made. I'm waiting for the pictures to be sent to me. Quite a few have sent me. Some are left. Please send it to me. I get very happy to know that you all are following my instructions, and this is the only way I know that you all have understood what I taught. All right, so moving on, you all now know the difference between climate and weather. You all know both of it is different. You all know that climate is defined as the various atmospheric conditions which include rainfall, temperature, wind, humidity, and other meteorological elements. Basically, it is in a region over a long period of time. What about the weather? Weather is defined as the atmosphere at a given time and place with respect to variables such as wind, moisture, storms, snow, temperature, and barometric pressure. So, what is the difference between weather and climate? One is the definition. Second, weather is the condition of the atmosphere in a specific place at a given point in time. These atmospheric conditions may take place day by day, minute by minute, or seasonally. And climate is the average weather condition over a place over 30 years of time. Weather involves only one condition of the atmosphere, and climate, it includes all the conditions of the atmosphere such as temperature, precipitation, wind, humidity, cloud, and pressure. Weather occurs in a place within a short period of time, and climate takes place over a long period of time. Weather is what we discuss on the daily basis. Weather is what we get on a daily basis. Whereas climate is what we expect over a long period of time. Weather changes within a short time. The overall changes and variations of a climate are very stable, and it takes decades or centuries to occur. The scientific study of weather is called meteorology, and meteorologist studies weather. And the scientific study of climate is called climatology, and a climatologist studies climate. So if you look outside your window, you're looking at the weather. When you discuss that, okay, it's raining today and now it is sunny, or there's strong winds blowing right now, this is the weather. And the climate is basically the condition of that area, of that place over 30 years of time. And climate takes changes in time. Climate takes place over decades and centuries. They don't happen immediately like weather. Weather changes happen very quickly. Okay, so weather can change within few minutes or an hour or few hours, and climate takes very long to change. Okay, so this was a quick revision I wanted to do with you all regarding climate and weather, so that you all are very clear that both of these are two different things. Now, these are the different factors that affect climate. Okay, these are the 6 major controls of the climate in any place. Any place, climate of any place majorly depends, or majorly the major factors, the major controllers are these. They are latitude, altitude, pressure and wind system, distance from the sea, ocean currents, and relief features. Relief features is the last chapter we have done. If you all remember, we have just finished the physiographic divisions of India. So that also play a major role in controlling the climate of a place. Okay, so what I want you all to do on this slide is I want you all to take the initials, that is L, A, P, O, D, R, and figure out some nice acronym or some nice small abbreviation, some small, short form that will help you remember all these factors of climatic control. I am not going to give it to you all. I want you all to figure it out. And it's easy. Okay? Now, if you look at the Earth is circular in shape. It's round in shape, correct? The planet Earth is circle. It's round. So due to the curvature of the Earth, the amount of solar energy that is received at different places of Earth, it differs. Okay, it varies, and this varies according to the latitude, because we measure it according to the latitude. What is latitude? We have Earth, Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, right? All these are the latitudes and longitudes. We have the Arctic Circle and the Antarctic Circle. So all these are the latitudes, and all these help us understand climate better. So as a result, the air temperature generally decreases from the equator towards the pole. Obviously, so what will happen is when you are near the equator, you're going to get the most amount of heat. That is going to be the hottest air region on Earth. And then as and when you start moving towards the poles, you're going to become colder. So due to the curvature of Earth, the amount of solar energy received varies according to the latitude. As a result, the air temperature generally decreases from the equator towards the poles. Next we had was altitude. Now what is altitude? Altitude is the height from Earth when you go upwards. So as one goes from the surface of Earth to higher altitudes, higher heights, the atmosphere becomes less dense and the temperature decreases. Therefore, the hills are cooler during summers. So this can be a question, give reason why are the hills cooler than summers? Because as we go higher from the surface of Earth, the atmosphere becomes less dense and the temperature decreases. The hills are so cooler during summers. Okay? Understood how altitude will play a major part in controlling the climate? Next, the pressure and wind system of any area. The pressure and wind system of any area depend on the latitude and altitude of the place, for sure. Thus, it influences the temperature and rainfall pattern. Absolutely true. So, pressure and wind, this both depends on the latitude and altitude. In the same area, if you're at the foot of the mountains, the wind may not be blowing as fast as the wind will be blowing when you're on top of that mountain. So altitude plays a different, and latitude depends on the pressure. Air pressure will depend on the latitude, whether you're closer to the equator or you are away from the equator. So pressure and wind system, they depend on the latitude and altitude of the place, and so the pressure and wind system, these two, they influence the temperature and rainfall pattern. Finally, if you look at the not finally, as you look at the distance from the sea, so the sea gives a moderating influence on the climate. The sea exerts a very moderating influence on the climate. As and when the distance from the sea will increase, as and all we keep going far, its moderating influences decreases, and the people experience extreme weather condition. So what does this basically mean is, if you're living on the coastal area, you're living close to the sea, you will have a very moderate climate. Okay, that means you're not going to face any extremes, that is 0 degrees in winters. This is an example, does not mean that all the places away from the sea will experience this. No, what I'm trying to say is moderating is, it's not fluctuating a lot, it is close to each other. The heat and the cold weather, they are very close to each other, it is not very extreme. Okay, but when as the distance from the sea increases, so as you go to the interiors of the place, whichever place you're talking about, you're moving away from the sea, that time the moderating influence of the sea will become less, and so the people over there will experience extreme weather condition, and this kind of a condition is called as continent continentality. Continentality, meaning very hot during summers and very cold during winters. Okay, next factor is ocean currents. Now in ocean currents are normally the currents that are in the ocean, and they can be either cold, or it can either be warm, or it can be cold. Okay, so ocean currents along with the onshore winds. So on the land we have winds, and inside the oceans we have currents. So both of these together, they affect the climate of the coastal areas. So any coastal area which has a warm or a cold current flowing past, it will be warm or cold if the winds are onshore. So depending on that current, the winds will be hot, or depending on the cold current, the winds will be cool. So any coastal area with warm currents will have warm winds, and any coastal area with cold currents will have cold winds. Okay. Finally, we come back to what we did last class, last chapter, what we have learned, relief features. And how do the relief features play a major role in determining the climate of a place? So if you look at high mountains, the high mountains become barriers for the cold or hot winds. They also cause precipitation. If they are high enough and they lie in the path of the rain-bearing winds, then they will start causing precipitation. The leeward side of the mountain will always remain dry. Okay, so which are the six? Can you name the six major factors that control the climate of any place? Quickly take a pen and paper and write it down if you remember. Relief is right in front of you, yes. But can you name the other five? Come on. I give you all 20 seconds to write. You can easily do this. Come on, quickly, quickly, quickly. Okay, I'm going to tell you the answer now. You're still writing pause. Okay. First is latitude. Second was altitude. Then we have pressure and wind system. Then we have distance from the sea. Then ocean currents. And the last one is relief features. So these are 6 major controls of the climate of any place. Okay, now comes research work for y'all. Research work, or use your mind, apply the learning that you have taken from here. And before we move further into the chapter, what I want you all to do is in your notebooks, I want you all, this is your thinking. Okay, so this doesn't need, don't refer to textbook for this, please. Yeah, you can do some little research that you require, but don't take direct answers from somewhere for this particular part. Now you all have understood which are the 6 major factors of that influence the climate of any place. Okay, so we are going to be thinking about India. So can you Can you write down how these six things influence the climate of India? So, how do you think latitude affects the climate of India? In what way? What does it mean? What do you understand by it? What about altitude? What about pressure and wind system? What about the distance from sea? What do you mean by ocean currents and relief features? I'll show you all a small video which will sum up the learning we have done today and will give you some information for this answer. Okay, so you can refer to that video again when you're writing down the answer, or you can write down the notes right now, your choice, or you can do your own research. I'm not looking at lengthy pages of information. Just one page, you can write all the 6 points down, and however you think that particular thing affects the Indian climate or influences the Indian climate, how do you think altitude influences India's climate? And just 1, 2 lines, maximum 3 lines. Okay, so this is your own work that you will do, and just like before I have told you, message it to me so that I can see it. All right, in the future videos you all are going to see whatever you are sharing with me, I'm going to share it back with you all so everyone can look at it, not to embarrass you, to appreciate your work. All right, so with this I'm just showing you all the video. These are the factors that affect India's climate. In fact, these are the factors that affect the climate of any place. Sorry. So these were the 6 factors that affect the climate of any place, and I want you all to use your application of mind, use your thinking. Okay, I don't want borrowed thinking, so no asking mama, papa, or friends, no asking any teachers, any other teacher, or anybody else, no asking Google. What you can ask Google is, what is the climate like in the torrid zone or in the tropical zone? What is the altitude of India? You can ask these questions. That will just give you information. But analysis should be done by you. So I just want you all, on one page in the notebook, you will write the factors affecting the climate of India, factors that influence the climate of India, and the number one, latitude, and whatever is your take on it. Remember, this is your assignment. Okay, this is what you are doing it as an assignment. So do it for yourself. Don't open the textbook, don't read it. Use your common sense and do it in your own words. There is no right or wrong. I'm not giving marks for this. I'm not going to correct it and say there's a spelling error or a grammatical error. I just want to know what is your view on this. All right. So with this, I end today's class. Stay home, stay safe, take care, keep learning. Thank you.